Being a royal is pretty much every girl's dream. To marry a prince and then become a princess yourself is like a fairy tale. But what most people don't think about is how many rules come with being in the royal family. It isn't all tea parties and social events. Have you ever wondered how Meghan Markle is stacking up against all the rules of British royalty? Stay tuned to find out why her and Harry's engagement photos had the royals up in arms. If this is your first time visiting our channel, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more great content. Leave us an original comment down below for your chance to win a $50 Amazon gift card. Today we're showing you 10 rules Meghan Markle has to follow and 5 she's already broken. No selfies. Everyone loves selfies. You'd be lying if you said that you never took one. Pretty much everyone has a selfie or two on their Instagram profile. Everyone except royals, that is. Apparently, royals aren't allowed to take selfies in public. They can, of course, take them in the privacy of their own homes, but they shouldn't post them on any social media sites. It may seem like a strict rule, but when you think about it, it does make sense. Selfies are at their core kind of vain. The royal family probably doesn't want to portray vanity in any way. This shouldn't be too big of a problem for Meghan. It's not like she posted lots of selfies before she was engaged anyway. Most of the photos on her Instagram are of the causes that she cares about. We don't see the royal family having any problem with that. No shellfish. This is one of the weirder rules on the list. The royal family isn't allowed to eat shellfish, but the reason behind it isn't really because of dietary restrictions or to stay thin. Shellfish are unpredictable. People often come down with food-related illnesses due to this type of food. The royal family abides by a very strict schedule. They have lots of appearances to make and even more business endeavors to attend to. They can't risk spending a few days in bed due to food poisoning or an upset stomach. Some royals will break this rule and eat shellfish from time to time. Who can resist all shellfish 100% of the time? No one. But even the royals who break the rule definitely don't make it a habit. Must always carry black attire. You never know where you will be when tragedy strikes, so the royals prepare for that. How, you might ask? Well, whenever they are traveling, they must always pack an outfit that is funeral appropriate. The rule stemmed from when Queen Elizabeth's father, King George VI, passed away while she was away in Kenya. The princess had no appropriate funeral attire with her. When she landed back in the UK, there was a sea of paparazzi waiting for her, wanting to see how she was reacting to her father's death. Unfortunately, since she hadn't packed appropriately, she looked more like she was going on vacation than returning to bury her father. In order to keep this from happening again, the royal family instated this rule. They won't be caught unprepared again. No social media. Everyone has social media these days. You'd be hard-pressed to find someone who doesn't, especially celebrities. Their social media accounts are their brands. Social media is how celebrities show the world what they want them to see. But royals aren't normal celebrities. They aren't allowed to have their own social media accounts. Accounts like Kensington Royal post pictures of the royal family, but those accounts are extremely curated. So when Meghan marries Harry, she will have to either delete or turn over her social accounts. This may be for the best, though. Can you imagine if Meghan was Snapchatting all of her nights out once she became a princess? It could be extremely dangerous for the crown. Part of the appeal of the royals is that they are so mysterious. If each member of the family had their own Instagram and Twitter accounts, that would definitely ruin the air of mystery. No voting. In America, voting has always been a super important right. People have died for the ability to vote, but Meghan will have to give that right up when she becomes a princess. Why? Because royals aren't allowed to vote. They are supposed to be completely impartial. Can you imagine if the Queen were to endorse a political candidate? It would cause complete chaos. So no matter how into politics Meghan may be, she will have to stay out of it where Britain is concerned. We wonder if she will still be able to vote in American elections. That may be a conflict of interest since she will be leading a completely different country. Will she become a dual citizen, or will she completely give up her American citizenship? We will have to wait and see. Neutral nails only. There are so many ways to express yourself. Nails are one of them. You can paint them to match however you are feeling, but if you are royal, you don't get to be quite as expressive. Royals are only allowed to wear neutral colors on their nails. In the past, Meghan has opted to wear darker shades than neutrals. She better enjoy the darker colors while she still can, because once she becomes royal, there will be none of that. We completely understand where the royal family is coming from with this rule. Their whole brand is about being clean and polished. Nothing looks more clean than neutral colors. It is also a great way to ensure that you don't offend anyone. This rule might be a bit restrictive, but at least Meghan won't ever have to worry about her nails clashing with her outfits again. Follow the Queen. When it comes to how Meghan will interact with the Queen, there are a lot of rules she must be aware of. For instance, she must curtsy whenever she greets the Queen. Formal greetings between other family members are negotiable, but for the Queen, it is a given. She must also always be watching the Queen during meals. When the Queen is done eating, then everyone else must also be finished, regardless of whether you are still hungry or not. Meghan must also watch out if Elizabeth begins to stand. Whenever Her Royal Highness stands, everyone around her must also stand. For a lot of these rules, Meghan can just look around to make sure if she is doing what everyone else is doing. But if she happens to be not paying attention one day, she could get in some hot water. Tiara. When you look at a princess wearing a tiara, you probably think that she just plopped it on her head and walked out the door. That is not the case at all. When it comes to tiaras, there are plenty of rules. In the past, tiaras were worn pretty far forward on the woman's head, but now modern style dictates that it should be worn a little further back. The tiara must sit at the perfect 45-degree angle when viewed from the side. Meghan must also wear a tiara on her wedding day. Traditionally, the tiara should come from the bride's family, and then after the wedding day, she would be expected to wear the groom's family jewelry. However, this rule is not always followed. The last time it was broken was actually by Harry's mom, Princess Diana. No monopoly. Most of the rules on this list make sense when you think about them for a while, but this particular stipulation is super strange. The royals aren't allowed to play Monopoly. We know. You are probably wondering why a children's board game would be banned from the royals. Well, apparently the game gets a little too intense. In 2008, the Leeds Building Society gave Prince Andrew the game. Unfortunately, he couldn't accept it. He told them that the royals were not allowed to play Monopoly at home because the game got too vicious. Isn't that funny? The royals, who deal with wars and international diplomacy, can't handle a game of Monopoly. Were they playing with real money or something? They must have been, otherwise, why would someone get so angry over a game that they would ban it from their whole family? We need more answers. Pinkies down. When you were younger, you may have heard the saying, "When in doubt, pinkies out." Well, apparently that saying is completely off. Royals have a specific way of drinking tea, and it has absolutely nothing to do with putting your pinky out. To drink tea correctly, Meghan should use her thumb and index finger to hold the top of the handle. The middle finger will support the bottom of the cup. She must also drink from the same spot so lipstick stains don't get all over the whole cup. If Meghan would rather drink coffee, there are rules for that too. She must loop her index finger through the handle when drinking the caffeine-filled drink. That seems like a lot to remember every time you want to have a warm beverage. We wonder if there are rules pertaining to every drink. What does she have to do if she wants to drink a simple glass of water? No pantyhose. Now that we have gone over some of the rules that Meghan will have to follow, let's get into some of them that she has already broken. For instance, when you looked at Meghan and Prince Harry's engagement photos, what did you see? You were probably just thinking that they were beautiful pictures. Well, the rest of the royals undoubtedly saw something different. In her engagement photos, Meghan didn't wear pantyhose under her dress. Anyone familiar with the royal family knows that this is completely unallowed. Pantyhose must always be worn when a royal's legs are shown out in public. We wonder what made Meghan go against this rule. Maybe she decided that her outfit looked better without the pantyhose and just didn't care about the rule. She's divorced. The royals like to keep everything prim and proper, meaning that they want to portray themselves as doing everything the right way. For that reason, divorce is usually a big no-no. Just look at what happened in the past. Princess Margaret was forced to split from her partner, Edward Townsend, and when Edward VIII wanted to marry the love of his life, he had to abdicate the throne. At that time, marrying a divorcee was extremely forbidden, and he would have rather lived with her than be king. The rule is becoming a little more lax now, as Prince Charles himself married a divorcee after he and Diana split. Meghan used to be married to a film producer named Trevor Engelson, but the two got divorced after only 2 years being married. It doesn't seem like Harry really cares. She talks to the press. We never really know what is going on in the lives of the royals, and you know why that is? Because they refuse to talk to the press, at least not about their relationships. Meghan Markle, on the other hand, was an actress, so she was used to talking to press about romantic things before she even met Harry. In her feature in Vanity Fair, she spoke about what it was like to be with Harry. She told the magazine that they had been quietly dating for 6 months before it became big news. She went into detail about how she was working the whole time they were dating. She even even talked about what had changed for her since she began dating him. While giving away details like that may make her more relatable to the public, it is definitely frowned upon by the royal family. PDA is her thing. Royal relationships aren't usually very hot and steamy, and there's a reason for that. They aren't really allowed to be very touchy-feely on one another in public. But Meghan and Prince Harry obviously don't care about this rule. They are always holding hands and holding on to one another. They were even spotted holding hands at the Invictus Games. If they were trying to hide their affection for one another, holding hands at such a prominent event was not the way to do it. These two obviously love each other so much that they don't care how it comes across. We wonder how the Queen felt about that. Do you think she scolded the two when they got home? Can you imagine getting scolded by the Queen herself? Talk about scary. She talks about politics. As we mentioned before, royals are pretty mum's the word when it comes to politics. They aren't allowed to choose sides, at least not in public. Well, in the last American election, Meghan made it very clear what she thought about one candidate in particular. She called the current president of the United States, Donald Trump, misogynistic. She was also very open about her support for his opponent, Hillary Clinton. Now, that was all well and good back when she was just an actress, but now that she is a princess-to-be, things like that are strictly prohibited. We wonder if she will be able to go with the flow and be tight-lipped like the rest of the royals, or if she will have a problem with this rule. Someone who is used to being so outspoken probably won't be silenced so easily. That's it for 10 rules Meghan Markle has to follow and 5 she's already broken. Were you surprised by any of the things on this list? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching.